Okay, so to start creating patterns for your Zentangle, what you want to do is, of course, you want to be on your pen tool. Your brush should still be set at 10 scale. Make sure the opacity is at 100 and that your color is black. If you want to double check your hardness, just click this down arrow here. So it says 10 px, 10 pixels, 100%. So again, I started creating down here. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start creating in a new section. Remember, we are on the path option here, and we always have to create a new layer when creating with the path. So to create something simple in this section, I might do more of a linear pattern. Make sure your anchor point is on that line. Okay, we don't want to have any gaps. If we have gaps as you're creating, it could be a little pain in the butt when we move on to the next step. All right, but I'm just going to kind of do more like a zigzag line, nice and controlled. Remember, Zentangles have controlled designs. They're not all over the place. So if your design is starting to look like a little sloppy, we might have to choose a different option for the design that you are creating. Okay, and then I'm going to go here, and we'll do two more. Okay, because you want to make it look like your design is continuing throughout that whole space. So I'm happy with that line. I'm going to right click, stroke path, make sure it says brush and simulate pressure is off. Click OK, and you should have a black line that appears. So I'm going to press enter so I can get rid of those anchor points because I feel like I'm 100% happy. Zoom in to make sure that none of your lines are going past your area, okay, past that defined space. So what I'm going to do, still being on this new layer, I'm going to go in with my eraser tool. If you don't like using the circular shape, you can go up to the top next to mode. You can change it, to block. So now it's a nice square, so I can just get rid of that. Okay, and then I'm just going to move around to make sure no other corners of my zigzag line are going past my section here. Okay, you want to make sure that you are still having great craftsmanship when creating these designs. All right, so that one looks like he's a little bit far out. And coming around. All right, that was actually really, really good. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom out. Okay, and I want to add something in here to show you how you could play around with the eraser tool every time you're creating a new line. So let's say I want to add this with more of like an organic shape. Again, I'm going to add a new layer every time I'm adding a new piece to my pattern. I'm going to go back to my pen tool, and I'm going to start in this corner here. And I'm pretty much drawing over top of this shape here. But I'm going to make it look like it's weaving in and out of these triangles. And I'm going to show you how that's happening. And I'm going to, actually I might stop there. Remember, you can hold down control. Command if you're a Mac, control if you are a desktop Chromebook user. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to go, whoop. Make this nice curved line, and then of course end it. Okay, zoom in, make sure that you are already on that line. Perfect. Okay, right click to click anywhere, stroke path, click OK. There we go. Boop, boop, boop. All right, but now I want it to look like it's weaving in and out of my triangles. So what I want to do here is I don't want to cover up that triangle because I feel like, that will take away, pressing the wrong buttons. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase the lines that are right in front of the triangle. So I'm going to go back to my eraser tool. Go back to my pen tool. Get rid of the selection lines by pressing enter. Go to your eraser tool, and I'm going to erase. All right, but carefully erase so I don't create any gaps. Okay, and this one I should just be able to click and boom. All right, looks like it's going behind, but now I want it to look like it's going in front. So I'm going to go back to my last layer because that was a zigzag, and I'm going to erase this line. All right, so there is no rasterization when you are using the path tool. It's already a flattened object that you can erase. Okay, and now I want it to look like this one's going behind, so I'm going back to my curve, and I'm going to erase this guy right here. All right, you want to fill your space. With this assignment, I am looking for using organic and geometric shapes, and simple and complex patterns. So a simple pattern would be using the same thing over and over again. All right, what am I erasing now? Behind, over, that's right. Okay, so make sure you're adding that variety. So to create something simple, it's just using that same shape over and over again, but to make it more complex, you want to keep adding lines within lines within lines. The more sections you have, the more intricate and the more unique that your design will be. All right, and now I'm going to get rid of these. And now, oops, see that right there? I created a little gap. I don't want that. So undo that. And since I was holding down my mouse the whole time, I got rid of everything I erased. So now I'm just going to snip, snip, snip. A little eraser tool here. Always make sure that you are zooming in when you are erasing. So I might actually, no, I actually think I did good. Could zoom in, hold space bar to move yourself over, zoom out. So now when I zoom out, it looks like I have this, I don't even know what this is, like a vine weaving in and out of these thorns or these mountains. And I could do the same thing by having another one coming in the opposite direction. So I can come back in with my pen tool, zoom in, make sure you're starting on a line. I could always draw over shapes, but then erase to make it look like it's going in or weaving, or those are your options. All right, that looks really good. Right click, stroke path, click OK. And then I'm going to go back to my eraser tool. Now again, one thing to point out is that I did not create a new layer for this one. So you might realize as you continue and you start getting involved in your patterns, make sure that you are creating layers. So this is one mistake that I did do. The other mistake is I'm not labeling my layers. So please make sure that you start labeling your layers or grouping them. Like you see here, I have petals 1, petals 2. And that's for my patterns down below, which I'll show you in one moment. So layers 2 is, let's just call it curves. Right? This is not really affected, but it can be affected if you're trying to erase one thing from the next. So this time I want this guy coming in up in front of it. I'm going to erase, erase, erase. Okay. And then I want the curve to go in front, so I'm going to erase these 2 lines. All right. Now I'll just create something really, really unique. All right. So again, I'm looking for geometric and organic. And you want to think about how your eye is going to move around the composition. So right now I have these lines that are forming that are bringing me this way. But then I have these points that are bringing me in this direction and in that direction. So think about how your patterns are bringing you from one direction to the next. All right, and here's my examples of the petals that are down below. So remember, I could click them on, I could click them off. And what I've been doing is I've been copying a group, so I can duplicate group. Make it petals 3, click OK. And now if I go to my move tool, I created a whole new set of petals rather quickly, actually. So if you want to do something very intricate like this, if you do it right the first time, all you have to do is a lot of copy and pasting. All right, but take your time with this. Be unique, okay? Totally be original with this. If you need ideas, you can go online, go back to the tutorial that I put on the other day. Okay, you have a lot of resources for you to use. And if you ever get stuck, if you get stuck on a program issue, I can set up a Google Meet with you in order to figure out what may be going wrong. All you do is you flip your screen in order for me to see your screen, and I can walk you through some troubleshooting issues. Okay, just because something is not working does not mean that it cannot be done. Right? One thing too you want to make sure is that this is normal. Okay, that says pass through. You want to make sure it says normal. This says kind. This is at 100%. Okay, these are things that they should stay normal. Anything other than that, you may have to have a Google Meet with me, and I am more than welcome to do one at any time during the day. Okay, just not at midnight. All right, guys.